Hey guys, it's Aftab here. So in this podcast, we have a really special guest with us, Nagashekar. So he's working as a software engineer at Google. He has a really inspiring journey starting from bachelors to USA uh, and securing a software job in top tech companies like Visa and Google. So if you're interested in landing into top tech companies, or if you're trying to prepare for your interviews for these top tech companies, then this podcast will be really helpful for you. So let's not waste time and ask Nagashekar about his journey and take valuable insights from him. So hi Nagashekar, thanks for joining us today. So it's really my pleasure to have you in my podcast.
Likewise. Yeah.
So,
Small intro. I am a computer science graduate at University of Texas at Arlington,
yes,
and now I'm working as a software engineer at Google.
awesome, Nagashekar. So, can you briefly explain your journey starting for your master's in computer science in UTA and role at Google and securing a role at Google?
Yeah, so it all starts where I have only one admission for my master's degree here in the US. That was UTA. So that was the only university who at that time was taking up students who were shifting from electronics to computer science.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one thing, and then the shift alone from electronics to computer science, that was a major hurdle for me, because it was a bit cranky at the beginning, because everything was new. Whatever I was trying to do was either breaking something or doing not the intended thing. And that is summing up my entire master's journey. And then finally it was that phase where you look for jobs like every other student here, trying to find one, doing my applications, having a lot of rejections, either direct rejections or be it interview rejections, and then finally landing a job or two here and there. So yeah, that has been my small roller coaster ride for past 3.5 years now. Yeah.
So as you mentioned that you shifted from electronics to computer science. So what made you bring your interest from electronics to computer science, Nagashekar?
That would be basically I started electronics for my love for electronics. Basically, I used to open up things. I used to play a lot with whatever I could find. So I thought that would be dream come true if I do take up that degree as my bachelor's. But that finally ended up costing me 4 years, and having good amount of, probably it taught me how to study or how to learn things rather than helping me with what I have learned. So the things that I learned now are of not that much use to me, but basically it taught me how to learn. So yeah, and then I started to grow an interest to building applications. I've also held sessions for other students as well when I was in my bachelor's. And yeah, that spark that led me was I started building my own Android application at that time, like very basic, very wireframey kind of design, but that joy that you get by the end of it, when you're able to showcase that to your judges or your professors, that is something that made me shift to building actual stuff that can be used by a lot of people.
Interesting, Nagashekar. So it's always interesting to know about your background and your experiences before diving into looking at your path. When I dive more upon your projects or your experiences, so during your student, what made you more impactful for securing such a huge position in Google or Visa?
Um, I would say a lot of hands-on experience would be the thing that probably is the number one impact uh, on wherever I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let it be academic projects, let it be my personal projects.
Okay.
They have always been something that made me do or like made me create something. So that is the major exposure that I feel people should have, um,
Yes, I'm sure. Yes.
rather than the theoretical part of it, which is something really important. But
Okay.
alongside that, I would suggest everyone to have like hands-on experience of whatever you're trying to do. Let it be the simplest calculator app that you're probably building, or like the most complex website or like game that you're building. uh, it's basically how you do it, how you learn through it, and how you put that to your use in the coming days. So I've had like me build very small Android applications
Mm-hmm.
to very complex online um, like mobile controller based games.
Okay.
But yeah, but again, it is the small things that finally end up helping you in the long run. Probably those consistent moves that you usually make with the small things is something that you'll do with the bigger things as well. So yeah.
Since you had an electrical and electronics background, then how did you learn all these skills for making those IT related projects?
Yes, so that is with the help of IoT. I bought
Mm-hmm.
this small board called Node MCU back in my
Okay.
bachelor's. It's
Okay.
it's basically um, like a 200 rupee or like a 230 rupee kind of board, a small one.
Okay.
Uh, but that ended up me being at where I am today, because that is where I started off from. I started building small IoT related projects, since
Mm-hmm.
it had like a electronic part of it as well as like a software part to it. So that is where I started from. A lot of Arduino stuff, a lot of um, that kind of coding, like probably um, embedded software kind of coding, and then now to actual software. So the transition was a bit bumpy, but yeah, now that I'm here, I'm leaning towards having neatly written code rather than plug and play kind of thing, whatever I used to do before. So yeah.
It's fascinating, Nagashekar. So again, I see that you have done you have worked as a graduate teaching assistant during your masters in UTA.
Yeah.
So did it help you during a professional growth or your during your job search?
Yeah, so the TA position was very competitive to get into, at least at the university that I studied at, where the population of master students as well as PhD students were a lot, and there was a lot of competition. So I got my path through cold emailing professors, and
Mm-hmm.
I got a position for a computer networks course at UTA.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, that position did help me probably on the communication and the people management side of things,
Okay.
where I had to have interactions with students who had like doubts with the curriculum or grading stuff, as well as I had this opportunity from my professors where I was given a free hand to um, probably give students a term or a semester project. So that really helped me to probably find a baseline, a project, and then set rubrics on how people should build it, or people like giving them direction how to build it. And finally correcting people if they're off track, or probably helping them out reach the end goal was something that helped me through my TA-ship. So along with that, it also added this leg into my resume, where this was the first experience here in the US for me.
That's
So
nice.
so that I think basically adds an extra point to your resume whenever it is going through ATS, and you're able to go and reach the human on the other side who would probably read your resume.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that is where it also helps, I guess.
Yeah, it's always great to see how this small part-time jobs or part-time roles during your masters
Yeah.
would give a huge impact in your resume or during your professional growth. Since you have a diverse career, starting from your bachelor's to landing into Google, can you walk us through your job search process, specifically job search process, like how you navigated these transitions between these roles? Like, how did you prepare for interviews? How do you focus more upon your approach?
Yeah. So one thing I would put out there is that there are a lot of resources on the internet. There is abundance of resources wherever you can learn from. May it be YouTube, may it be other websites like Geeks for Geeks, LeetCode, and HackerRank and stuff, where you can practice coding. So I would say start there. Probably the basic thing would be to start with data structures. I'm purely talking about computer science and stuff related to it, but probably starting there would be a very good start point, and work your way through different data structures, how to use it, and how it is being used in like actual applications, and then go to your coding part, where LeetCode and other websites like that probably help you. Yeah, since technical interview is a major part of your job hunt process, I would probably suggest you spending 50% of your time getting prepared for these kind of technical interviews, and then doing the other rest, application process, all that in the next 50%. So as I'm saying application process, the first thing that comes to my mind would be your resume.
Do you have any tips regarding building your resume?
Yes. So coming to resumes, I wouldn't say there is like a one size fits all kind of thing for everybody. Some things might work for you, some things might not work for you. So what I would suggest would be that iterate over your resumes, see what is basically that is required at the end of the day. Take away things that are not required, and if you are someone who has experience less than, like, let's say 6 years or something like that, I would suggest you try to keep your resume to a one pager resume, like the ones that you find online. And basically try to fit in all the impactful information that you would possibly have on your end to put there. May it be your personal projects, may it be your academic projects, may it be your experiences. Try to have impactful stuff there, rather than having everything that you have done in your life there. So one thing I would say is that recruiters are also humans. Recruiters also work day in, day out looking at resumes. They'll probably have 30 to 40 seconds basically to scan your resume. So if you're able to get their attention basically in those 30 to 40 seconds, then you have a chance there. So try to keep it crisp yet attractive for the recruiter whoever will be looking at your resume. So yeah, as I mentioned, iterate over your resumes, get it reviewed from professionals or your peers as well, and then probably try applying to different positions with those resumes, see what is working out for you. And coming to applications, it is a difficult thing. Yes, I completely agree there, where you have to apply to a lot of companies. If you take my case, I applied to around 1,400 to 1,500 roles.
Through
And
which platform, Nagashekar?
yeah,
You applied through the web, company portals or through LinkedIn or any Indeed platforms like that?
so if you ask me this, I would rank probably going through referrals my first option, which would be the best option, as at least if you go through your referrals, you might end up in a different stack of
Okay.
resumes,
Okay.
which might have a higher preference to the recruiter, whoever is looking at your resume. And the second option would be through their career websites.
Okay.
Probably what I've heard or seen on my end is that usually LinkedIn jobs, whichever you find which has like easy apply, which is like a button away from applying, is like an easy thing that everyone would do. There would be like thousands of applications there.
Yes, right.
Probably going through the career portal also, applying there for the advertised job would be a better option. Probably use LinkedIn as a portal to see these advertisements, and then go apply through them through their career pages. And also something that has worked out for me is cold emails.
Okay.
Where I used to cold email a lot of recruiters and hiring managers, asking them if they have a position that might be aligned with my job role.
Okay.
Yeah, I am also happy to. Yeah.
So, what was your application process for Visa and Google? Was it cold email, or applying to the web portal?
My first ever job at Visa was through a cold email.
Okay.
It was a 2 a.m. mail to a hiring manager who had put up a LinkedIn post saying that, yeah, my team is hiring. And then I emailed them saying that, yeah, I'm interested in taking up this, and then put up my effort in writing that email properly, and then adding a cover letter to it, making them have a wholesome interviewee kind of approach from my end. So this,
what was the role about, and how did you align your resume, align your skills to that role, asking for the recruiter?
Yes. So the role was for a senior software engineer, which is basically a software engineer at Visa.
Okay.
So that role demanded skills for web development, which I had like only 50% knowledge about.
Okay.
So my first thing there was to remove things that might be unnecessary or overdoing for other probably roles. I tried to remove my unnecessary machine learning projects and all that, tried to put more of web stuff into that, and then sent my resume out saying that, yes, I do have experience in this, and these are my highlight points which you can judge me on.
So before applying for Visa, do you have experience, or you showed your projects more? Like you showed your skills on projects, or you showed your experience more to recruiter?
Yeah, I had zero experience before this. I was a I directly came after my bachelor's in India as well, and then I didn't have any experience here in the US. So yeah, that was my first ever full-time job, and all my experiences or everything that they were to judge me on were my projects, may it be academic or
Interesting,
personal.
interesting.
Yeah.
So we can say that even though we don't have experience, so we can showcase our projects and grab the opportunities which are upon those roles, right? Actually,
Yeah, for sure.
what are the hiring of Google? How did it happen?
Yeah. So that was a long story actually. I had applied back in February, and to my to my um, to my grace, I got the call back the day I started in Visa.
Okay.
So it was a tough choice from there on, saying should I leave this job, should I keep this job, is the opportunity worth it, and then is the effort that I'll be putting in now worth my time.
Okay.
So yeah, these were initial days in my visa, so I was able at visa, so I was able to make time for my tech interviews at Google as well.
Okay.
So that gave me a bit of wiggle room. I learned things that I didn't before interviewing for visa that would probably help me, like system design and stuff. So yeah, it ended up working out for me. I made the hard choice of leaving one of the leading card companies or network processing companies
Yes.
to
Yes.
another industry leading
Yes.
tech company. So yeah, hard choice, but I think it worked out for me.
So was it through email? Was it through applying in portal, or was it through referral, or else
Yes.
emailing the recruiter?
Yes, for Google that was not the case.
Okay.
I feel applying through the portal or through referrals would be a better shot here.
Okay.
Given the scale at which Google operates, I feel going through referrals is a better option.
Okay.
Even my option, or like my choice, was to go through the career portal. I didn't have a referral. I applied back in February, but got a reply from them in July.
Okay.
So it is never uh, an opportunity if you don't get rejected. So yeah, so I didn't get rejected, so I was very, very happy just to receive that callback. But
Okay.
yeah.
That's really insightful, Nagashekar. Thanks for sharing your approach. And regarding your interviews, what was your interviews? Is there what type of questions were asked?
Yeah. So
For both
basically,
Visa and Google, can you explain us both for interviews regarding the Visa and Google?
yeah, sure. So usually, most tech companies have a few rounds of technical rounds, and then they have a bit of behavioral rounds here and there. So it was very similar for me as well. I had 4 rounds of technical interviews for both Visa and Google.
Okay.
Basically lasting 45 to 1 hour ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, each. And then
Each. Okay.
yeah, so everything was packed in a day. You had to have food in between, and then get back at your pace, ready
Okay.
to interview for the next rounds. So yeah, those 4 technical rounds, the questions were basically very similar to questions that you would basically find on LeetCode. Um, the difficulty of problems would be ranging from your easy to your medium kind of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, at least that those were the questions that I was asked.
Okay.
Yeah, and then a few system design things here and there. design a parking garage kind of questions. And then coming to the behavioral rounds, every company expects to hire good or great individuals whenever they're trying to pick someone.
That's
So
nice.
behavioral rounds also matter, and they that might also be a deciding factor. You can never say, even though you did way better than other candidates in your uh, technical aspect, but if you end up ignoring your behavioral stuff and end up being the person that they do not want to take into a company, you might end up losing that opportunity. So I would say be as prepared as you are for your technical interview with your behavioral questions as well. Yeah.
As you mentioned, interview DSA questions were asked based on LeetCode problems, right? So how hard was there? Like, was it easy, medium, or hard questions?
So to start off with, the questions seemed easy, and then probably the follow-up questions that most of the interviewers had would be something like a medium difficulty question. So it's not guaranteed that you would have a follow-up question. You can be asked a medium question right off the bat and to start with. But again, it depends completely on the interviewer and what they want to assess you on. So
when did you start practicing LeetCode, Nagashekar, during your masters or after your bachelors?
So it took me almost 3 semesters to recover from not knowing computer science to taking up a master's degree here. So in my first 3 semesters, all my time was taken up by either academic projects or my academic courses and things I had to learn. So this formed like a foundation for me to start my LeetCode journey. So by the beginning of my 4th semester is when I started, which is pretty late. So I started in January, and then I like burnt my way through it till May, having to solve one problem when I started, and then having to solve like 3 or 4 problems a day by the end of like May. So May and June were my interview phase. So I think I just got lucky. I would suggest starting early and then preparing well.
How many questions did you solve in LeetCode?
LeetCode, I think I was around the 350-ish mark. So
but only LeetCode or also like any other platforms like Geeks for Geeks?
LeetCode was my primary, and then probably these kind of websites or like a set of questions like the Blind 75 or the NeetCode 150 that helped me out. NeetCode, I would suggest to anyone watching the videos for technical interview solutions, how to go about it, how to solve it actually. Has a very laid out structure, and that would be my number one source that probably got me through the technical interviews.
Awesome, Nagashekar. So and lastly, but not least, we're going to ask you one more question, which is what advice, what will be the final advice for the people who are doing bachelors or just completed masters and are trying to land into big tech companies like Visa, Google?
I would say be confident. You got it. You have to probably take up hard calls where you let go of some of your sleep, or you have like sleepless nights. So start small. Start with LeetCode and stuff, and then on the side, prepare your resume, iterate through it, get it reviewed. I've personally reviewed more than like 100 resumes as of today.
Okay.
So I've had people ping me on LinkedIn, ping me wherever else possible to get their resumes reviewed. And yeah, I've spent a lot of time talking to students as well.
Okay.
And then yeah, iterate through your resumes, keep applying. Do not be scared of rejections, I would say, because I used to get like 9 to 10 rejections every day.
Okay.
And sometimes I would be in a panic state if I did not receive those rejection emails every day. So yeah, that is also there. So don't worry, you will reach wherever you have to by the end of this journey. And consistency would be the word that I would use here.
Okay.
Be consistent with your efforts, be consistent with your applications, be consistent with your daily routines, however you have them. Yeah, and then you will be in good shape.
Yes, Nagashekar, I completely agree with you that. I hope this will be this will be really valuable advice for those who completed bachelors or masters and US and looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And also, I think we covered a lot of questions. I'm sure our viewers will have gained valuable advice from you.
Yeah.
And also, thank you so much, Nagashekar, for joining us in this podcast. It's been a pleasure having you in this podcast.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, love to be a part of something bigger with your channel in the future.
Yes, sir. This I hope this video will be very useful for people.
Yeah.
And coming to this message for my viewers. So if you find this podcast helpful, please give thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So if you want more podcasts like this regarding jobs or regarding any technical rounds, then I would be happy posting such type of content. So that's all for this podcast, guys. So see you in next episode. Thank you very much, Nagashekar. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.